Welcome back to My Vision Express Patients module, and here in the Patients module we're going to discuss the Files tab at this point. Again, to access the Patients, you can click on File, Patients from the main menu, or you can also click on the Patients icon in the main toolbar. In the Search Patient panel, you can specify your search criteria, and then click Search to find the matching patient records. Your search criteria may be as specific or as general as you want. Highlight the patient record that you want to modify and then click Select to open it. To enter a new patient profile into the system, you click the Add button. Now here on the Files tab, you can attach any computer file to the patient record from the Files tab. You can also scan an image or select it from a predefined document list and make it a part of the patient record. This tab is shared from the exam screen as well as with the exam screen, so files added from the patient profile screen will be available from the exam screen and vice versa. There are two ways of attaching files, scanned images or otherwise, to the patient record. First, saving into the My Vision Express database file. The advantage of this approach is that these files are readily available from any client computer in a network environment without further setup. Also, by backing up the database, these files are also backed up. The drawback to this method is that the database will grow very large in a short period of time. My Vision Express ships with Microsoft SQL Server Express Edition, which has a 10 gigabyte database size limit, which is sufficient for storing text data over several years. However, image files are much larger than text files. A large practice with many image files will exceed the limit quickly with 10 gigabytes. However, this limitation can also be eliminated by upgrading your Microsoft SQL Server Edition. The other way is to link a file's path into the database. The file would only be accessible to client computers in a network environment if a network path was used and each client has the proper security configuration to access it. Also, you would need to back up linked files separately from the database because they're not embedded directly in. On the positive side, the file's path will not use nearly the same amount of space in the database, and you would need not worry about the database size for quite some time. The only restriction in terms of size with this approach would be the amount of hard drive storage available instead of the size of the database itself. It is a good idea to keep image resolution and colors down to a minimum. A plain text document is generally readable at 150 dpi and in grayscale or black and white. Use color only when required. The idea is to keep the image size as small as possible so it is easier to work with. It takes less time to view, edit, print, etc., and occupies the least amount of storage space. Images that are produced by an equipment interface will be added and categorized for you automatically. To manually add a file, document, or scan from a Twain-compatible scanner, you would click the Add button. Then enter a category and an optional description in the new line that is generated. And then proceed as follows. To attach a file, if you are linking the file rather than saving it directly into the database as we've discussed, check the Link External File checkbox. Then you would click the Attach File button. In the Select File to Import screen, locate and select the file to be attached in your computer file system. Then click the Open button to complete the operation. To attach a scan, you would click the View button to open the image editing screen. If you have multiple scanners or scanner drivers installed on your computer and you need to select a particular one, click the Scanner button. If you need to adjust the scanner settings for this scan, check the Dialog checkbox. Otherwise, the default scanner settings will be used. Click the Scan button. If the Dialog checkbox was checked in the previous step, you will see the scanner interface where you can adjust the scanning area, resolution, colors, etc., and complete the scanning process. If the Dialog checkbox was not checked, the image will be scanned with the default settings for the scanner at this point. If you want to link the scanned image rather than save it to the database, check the Linked File checkbox. When you are done, click the Save button. If you checked the Linked File checkbox in the previous step, a screen will prompt you for a location and file name to save the linked file. Finally, to view an existing file or image, double-click on the record, or click on it to select it, and then click on View. And then the file will be opened with the Windows default application to view. And that is it with the Files tab in the patient record. Thank you very much for watching.